Hi, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, today I'm going to show you some candy cards, e-cards from the American Caramel Company. I have some from the Philadelphia Caramel Company, Standard Caramel Company, Williams Caramel Company. Most people will recognize, the T206, the tobacco cards, but man, the caramel companies came out with some sweet cards in the early 1900s. So I'm going to show you those cards. But before I do that, just a little heads up. I booked my hotel for the National in Chicago. Coming up was it July 26th to the 30th, and you're going to think, wow, why are you booking your hotel so early? But I was told that some of the hotels are already filling up. Some of the cheaper room rates are already gone. So I booked mine for the Lowell's there, walking distance from the Rosemont Convention Center. I stayed there the last two Chicago Nationals. It's a little more expensive, very nice hotel though. So just a heads up to start looking at hotels if you're going to go. Fantastic venue, the Rosemont, Chicago. The hotel's right there. The airport's right there. Pretty safe compared to, the Atlantic City one where you're walking through or driving through the projects to get to the convention center. And another thing, maybe you guys, I need some help. I need some of you to start pressuring my friends, my misfit friends. As of right now, only myself and Don Field of Dreams is going to the National in Chicago. So maybe you can twist that some of these other guys, John and George and James and Bob and Lou, twist their arm and get them to go. Little peer pressure here. Well, let's get back to the cards, man. E-cards, caramel cards. We're going to start with some Philadelphia cards, Philadelphia caramel cards. I have these are Hall of Famers, graded Hall of Famers I'm going to show you. I have others that are in binders. I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to try to show you different kind of issues over the years. So this is a 1909 Philadelphia Caramel of Ty Cobb. These are like paper thin, very tough to find in a high grade. Definitely has a beat up back here, but heck, it's a Ty Cobb. They also came out the next year, the E96, 1910. I have a Home Run Baker. Little better looking back here. I have a 1910 E93 Standard Caramel of the Great Wagner here. Similar background. These were the Standard Caramel Company was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Nice little stain there, which I don't mind, and the checklist. Now, a tough issue, one of the tougher caramel issues would be the 1910 E103, the Williams Caramel of Three Finger Brown. If you can read this, kind of really cool here. They were based in Oxford, Pennsylvania. Blank back, relatively scarce. I would really like to get the Christy Mathewson one that hasn't been run over, but Three Finger Brown. Now, starting with some of the American Caramel cards, they produce cards from 1908 to 1927. The last issue was 1927. Including subsets and so forth, over 10 different issues. We're going to start with the 08 E91 of John McGraw here. All the cards in the set, there was a 33 card subset, set A. All of them are generic like this. Not very popular. They're gaining popularity actually nowadays with collectors. But that's John McGraw. You'll see on the back here. They would include players from, let's see here, Chicago, the Athletics, and the New York teams, the players. The next year they came out, the 1909 came out with the E91B, again, 33 cards. And this is of the great Christy Mathewson. Beautiful example, even though it's off center. I picked this one up at, where did I get this? Oh, I got this actually on eBay. And on the back here, really clean back. They also had E91C, which came out the next year in 1910. I do not have a 1910, at least a graded example of a 1910 card. The next issue they came out with would be the 1909 to 1911 E90-1. And this is of Cy Young, as you can tell. This is in graded a 3. Nowadays, this would probably be graded a 2. These are very tough to find centered. And whoever was the machine cutting these things, or whoever cutted these things with the Cy Youngs, didn't do a very good job. He also has a Cleveland card. On the back here it says 100 subjects, but there's actually, I think, 121 subjects. So over the years, when they first decided to, issue this set, they had 100 different subjects, but then over the 3-year period, players like Cy Young, who got traded, other cards were added, to the set. This one I did pick up at the National. I also have the Christy Mathewson in the set. Beautiful example of a 1. The Sam Crawford. And the Eddie Collins. Then in 1921, the American Caramel Company came out with the E121. Little larger size cards, as you can see. And this was of Harry Heilman. Harry Heilman, fantastic player. Believe it or not, Hall of Famer. Many collectors or people, just baseball fans, probably don't realize that Harry Heilman, who is Harry Heilman? Well, he played with Ty Cobb in the outfield. 340 career hitter, batted 400 in 1926, 4-time batting champion. This image here, this particular image, this famous photo of his, the photo was taken in 1917 by the Bain Photo Agency. I would love to get that particular Type 1 photo of this. And you can see on the back, it consists of 80 pictures. And then the next year, 1922, they came out with the E121. And I have a Ruth here, Babe Ruth. Babe has 3 different cards in this particular set. He's got this one, the montage. He has one holding a bird and one holding a ball. It says here 120 different pictures. And then also in 1922, they came out with the E122. And this is of Walter Pipp here. And as many of you know, Wally Pipp, he had a headache one day and he played first base for the Yankees. And who came in for him that day? Lou Gehrig, and Lou never gave up his spot at first base. Wally Pipp was actually a good player. And again, you're going to see consisting of 80 pictures. And their last issue they came out was in 1927, and it's E126. And this is of Lee Meadows here. The American Caramel Company actually closed down their plant the next year, 1928, in York, Pennsylvania. Now, these tend to be pretty scarce compared to some of the other issues, because probably just didn't produce as many of these cards since they were having a tough time. Lee Meadows cards, there's only been 2 SGCs graded, 1 PSA, and you're going to say, well, it's Lee Meadows. He was actually a good pitcher, 188 wins over 15 years, but even the Babe Ruth card, there's only 20 PSAs, only graded 20 examples, 20 cards, so relatively pretty scarce issue. I love the back here, different back, and you could turn in 15 cents. You can get a photo album mailed to you. So these are my American Caramel Companies and some other Caramel Company cards. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.